Welcome to the 34% podcast, where we provide practical advice, truth, and thoughts on everything and anything for those students who want to be a part of the 34% that stay in the church after graduation.
Welcome to the first episode of the 34%, where we talk about being the students that stay in the church and that are committed to the Lord even after graduation. So, just a quick introduction. I'm Matt, and I'm with my lovely wife, Lauren. Say hi.
Hi.
So, we are actually youth leaders. I'm the youth pastor at Legacy Church, and we've been there for about a year, a little less than that. And yeah, we're just kind of talking about some practical ideas. We have some questions that were submitted, and we hope to maybe interview some different people and kind of give some practical advice along with some different fun and have some truth involved. So that's kind of where we're at. Anyway, yeah, Lauren, you got anything to add?
I'm excited and I'm a little nervous, but it's going to be great.
Yeah, well, our question actually, we were given a question. I asked some students, I polled them, I said, hey, what's up? Like, you guys have questions? Do you have any things that you want answered? And the first question I got back was, what is the largest caterpillar in the world? And why did God create it? So, what's the largest caterpillar in the world, and why did God create it? So, we actually did a little bit of research, and upon Googling and searching the latest articles on this, we found that there are a few different caterpillars, but the largest is actually in North America. So it's in our own hometown of the US of A, and it is known as the green-horned caterpillar, or green-horned devil, I think, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. It says 12 centimeters?
Yeah, so 12 centimeters. It's basically the size of a hot dog. So imagine a little hot dog walking around. That thing is huge. So I don't know about you. If I see a centipede that big, I freak out. But yeah. Lauren? I want you to look up this picture of it and then describe it for our viewers.
Yeah, hickory horned devil.
Yeah, the hickory horned devil. That's it. The green hickory horned devil.
Yeah, let me look at pictures of this guy.
Basically,
Hickory horn.
Off of my memory, as she's Googling this, I remember it looks green, as you'd suspect, with a bunch of spikes up its butt. And so it is not a fun sight, and it looks kind of creepy.
Oh, it's terrifying.
Describe it.
Well, yeah, it does have those, like, spiky little claw-looking things they're like a disgusting orange brown color.
Yeah, that's on its head. So
it's like a bad
like an afro.
Hairdo. Yeah, I was thinking that too. Almost like a bird.
An afro of spikes. Or yeah, a bird. That's a good way to say it.
Like with feathers on it, sort of?
It furls its feather.
Like a rooster.
Isn't that called furrowing its feathers?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when it does that,
like to attract its mate?
Yes.
But this thing cannot attract anything. This thing is terrifying. It's like it has a red little fuzzy thing on its head right there, the front of its
I think
face.
It's called its mouth.
Or is that the butt?
I think it's its head. I would assume it's head because it looks like a hairdo.
And it has like little antennae.
It has spikes all up its body. And
it's a pretty green. It's like a an ocean blue with like a very beautiful green. It's kind of like a lime.
Ocean blue?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like there's different kinds. Yeah, there's like a lime green one, and then there's like a teal. It's like a teal blue.
It would make me want to pick it up if I saw it, probably.
Yeah, but you don't want to pick this up.
But like at the same time, I'd be horrified and want to stomp on it as quick as possible.
So, is this poisonous?
You look it up. You got to tell me.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure. So, we looked up a couple different species, and so I think I found 10 of them.
Oh, this is so
And that's terrifying. So we looked up 10 different species, and these 10 species, we see that they actually come from moths. So a caterpillar, usually when you see a caterpillar, you think of, like a butterfly, of course. But caterpillars also can become moths. And that's what this greenhorn giant thingy is the greenhorn devil becomes a moth. And it's actually a cool transformation because that green body becomes actually an orange moth. So actually look up it in Metamorphosis.
Oh, so, okay, yes. Well, it says they look fierce, and yes, you were right, as big as a hot dog, but they're harmless, so they're not poisonous, apparently. And they do, so yeah, they're green, which we were saying. They have green bodies, but then they become more of a blue, like a turquoise, as they get older, as they age.
Interesting. So look up, I want you to look up the orange moth it becomes. So look up like Metamorphosis or something.
Okay.
So hickory greenhorn moth. I don't even know. Because this thing, and I want you to describe it as well for our listeners, because it's crazy to see the transformation. So describe that for us.
Well, it's kind of beautiful, but then in this picture, it looks almost like a hairy little spider thing with legs.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's just the angle.
But yeah, no, it does look really beautiful.
If that was on our wall, that's what we would see.
This is really beautiful. It has some like tan little circles on it.
What color would you say it is?
Oh, it's like a very vibrant orange.
Yeah, a little tangerine kind of.
Yeah, tangerine, like a.
Its wings are a little bit see-through.
Yeah, the wings are see-through. It's very detailed. It has like a lot of very intricate little lines that are orange and like a lighter like yellow, tan, orange in the middle of it. But it is really pretty.
So that is the largest caterpillar in the world. And what was its name again?
The hickory horn devil moth.
All right, now what is the moth actually called?
Oh.
I think it has a specific name. So, like, once it metamorphosizes into the next
I think it says royal walnut moth.
That sounds right.
Is that right?
I'm pretty sure that's right. So, the royal walnut moth. So, this thing changes, it transforms, and if you wanted to, you could also, like, kind of use that as a analogy for, honestly, spiritual life and how we change and transform, just as metamorphosis happens, we're one creation to another. That ugly one creation becomes such a beautiful creation. Similarly, when we're in sin, then we metamorphosize, we become a beautiful creation. Those ideas kind of still happen. So, well, thank you. So, what would you say to the idea of why would God create such a creature?
Well, I feel like it just kind of going along off of what you said, very much shows God's detail and his design and how he can take something so ugly and broken and make it into something more beautiful and something that we can enjoy. And I think that that's just an example of his creation. And when we're outside and when we're looking at creation, I feel like, to me, if you don't believe that there is a creator, I feel like that's just crazy. Because if you look at just these different insects and these different, like, there's that verse, I believe in Matthew, that it talks about the Lord, like, taking care of the birds of the sky and, like, feeding them and all of the, all these creatures. But
yeah, I feel like it's Matthew 5.
Yeah.
Sounds like,
yeah. And so the Lord cares about these little small details of creation and just how beautiful that is to him and how he takes the time to do that and how much more, like, he provides for us. I think it says, like, ye of little faith or something. That might be a different verse. But so creation is just a picture of God's, just a reflection of who he is and his goodness in our lives. And I think that this is just an example of that.
Yeah, no, I agree. So what about so when it first is created, why would God create, or even other examples of creatures? Some creatures just they're not a pretty creature. They're never going to be nice to look at. They're still going to be creepy to look at, like spiders or other things. So why would God create those? Or what would you say to that?
Well, I personally believe that, like, you know those annoying little gnats and, like, flies and, like,
Yes.
all those little creatures that are just, like, a pain in your rear? Like, that, I feel like that is, like, because of the fall, because of Satan, and, like, I don't know, I feel like that's not how, like, God intended it, and, I don't know, especially like poisonous things. Obviously, he didn't want that. But he does say, isn't there a verse that he talks about how like the lion will lay with the lamb?
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
so, like these animals that you think of that are dangerous to us now, like lions or bears or, you know, snakes, because I hate snakes. But like those creatures weren't supposed to be dangerous.
Interacting in that way.
Interacting. Yeah, so that's interesting.
Yeah, so theologically, I don't know how accurate that is that sin introduced flies, but maybe it could be. There's
That's
no
just
evidence.
my own.
There's no evidence of that, but at the same time, I mean, I definitely hear people use that.
Well, like
often.
the plagues.
Yes, but that was God using that. So,
Oh.
but this person's emptying. Anyway, so that makes sense. I see where you're coming from with that. I don't necessarily see a lot of evidence for it, but that's okay. That's your own personal view, maybe, or just something that you've heard. But regardless, I think that there is definitely truth in the side of what you said second, which was the idea of the lion lay with the lamb. And so those two things definitely go together, where you see God intended it, like you said, for us to not have all these nuisances of life, and it was perfect and it was good before everything kind of all the fall happened. So it's just I think it goes to point to a couple different things to see. First of all, caterpillar, us, all of the rest of creation. I look at that and like the ecosystem of creation, how it all relies on one another, different things. To me, I look at that and I see there is a designer. There was one who created it all, and there had to be someone who was involved in it and starting it from the beginning. So I think that at least for me, whether that's the reason God created it, I have no idea why. Like I'm not able to say as God's man to say this is why God created it, but I do think that there's things that we can pull from it, and one of those things would be, like you said, this is not how it's supposed to be, but then also the side of it points to a creator, it points to God, and in it we can like worship God just through seeing the beauty. And like something you said way earlier was the idea of man, this is such a pretty creation. Like the idea is, yeah, it's very pretty, it catches our eye, and we can enjoy that, and we can enjoy just taking in how God created it and the intricacies of that. So I think that's really good. I think we're kind of up on our time now. Where are we at right now on it?
Ooh, we're about 13 minutes in.
Oh, nice. Okay, so we're actually not too far. We wanted to try to make these about 15 minutes, but just some introduction into who we are. These are kind of what the podcast will look like, but my name's Matt Schwenk. Like I said, I am the youth pastor at Legacy Church for our youth ministry student life. We look to build Christ's legacies for future generation, and then also our mission of just doing that and bringing students to the feet of Jesus and giving them the ability to respond to the gospel, as well as some practical advice. So here on the 34%, we want to seek to be giving practical advice on how to be students that will stay within the church when they graduate. I mean, there's so many statistics. I know you have friends, I have friends. They leave the church when they graduate. They move on, or they think, this isn't for me. We want to make it so you own your faith, so you understand that, and then you take that next step of, all right, well, how do I get engaged? When you graduate, when you go off to college, when, as some people would say, oh, you hit the real world. Well, you're always in the real world, but when you hit, like, adult life, we want you to be able to say, I'm going to be consistent in the church. And so that's our mission here on the 34%, giving you some advice and some thoughts from students who have made it as we are. But yeah, Lauren, you got anything? Any other thoughts or any way to introduce you? What's your favorite tree?
Ooh, well, my name's Lauren Schwenk. I'm Matt's wife. That's so fun to say. Let's see, my favorite
We recently got married, so that's why she's saying that.
Yeah. My favorite tree, I have a couple favorite trees. So the weeping willow tree, I just think is so beautiful and peaceful, and we had one of those growing up in our yard, and I used to sit under it, and it just provides a lot of shade and comfort, and it's just a beautiful tree. And they're also in Florida. And then I love palm trees because I remember all my family growing up, they lived in Florida, and so we would be driving to go visit them, and as soon as we would see a palm tree, we knew we were getting closer. And so palm trees are just so fun to me, and they remind me of going to Florida and just vacationing with family. So yeah,
Good answer. I feel like that question, I ask it to most people because I feel like that's the question. You get to know people in a unique way. Either they're going to have no idea on how to answer that because they know nothing about trees, or you're going to learn that they are nerds about trees, or that they just have a memory. So I really like that. Weeping willow. That's a good one. So comment below. We want you guys, if you have any questions, ask any questions below, as well as if you have your favorite tree. Let us know what that is. We may respond. And yeah, thanks for joining us for our first show. I know hopefully we'll continue to get better, and we'll just continue to adapt. But if you think of different ways and have different questions, let us know. Comment below. We'd love to hear from you and love to engage with you. But thanks for tuning in. My name's Matt.
and I'm Lauren.
And this is 34%. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.